Hey everyone, it's YoutubeDriver, the first video in a new series tonight where we have a quick look at some past races and talk you through them and take you on the race with me. So without further ado, let's do it. It was Wilton Mill, slick tyres in the rain, and it was the final race of the day. Managed to get a pretty good jump off the line, especially compared to that guy on the right. So straight away I'm heading over to the right hand side to try and get sort of off the traditional line. And get some good grip. Here a bit of carnage unfolding in front of me, so I was trying to, there's spinners on the left, trying to get a good exit down onto this straight. See, there was a guy who nipped by on the right hand side who did a much better job than me at that, sort of maximising his entrance onto the straight. Whee! Look at that guy. Which is probably something I need to learn for next time. I think probably at the start of the race I underestimated just how powerful just how many places you can gain on that straight down to turn 3 at Wilton Mill. So probably next time I would need to do that better. But anyway, moving on from that, we've got through the first few corners fine. We've gained a good few positions. Now looking at this bunch ahead, just always looking ahead. So we've got, see, one person goes off onto the grass just there. I'm pretty much expecting more carnage most of the time, to be honest, with it being slicks from the start of the race. And I think there is some soon, so getting onto here, looking for it. Like I said, there's somebody on the right side of the track. Hand up to acknowledge, I'm pretty sure there were flags, it might have just been to acknowledge them that they'd spun. Another group gone. Aggressive turning into turn 1, back over to the left, maximise the exit down to here. Got a really good run down onto here. This guy here was a really good driver, so I'm surprised he was so slow through there. Love that little move. King to the inside, just so I'm breaking off the dry line. Whoop. Slid a little bit in then, but passed him. Pretty much said to him, this is my line, this is my track. I absolutely love that move. Here, keeping nice and tight to the inside, and just, I've already got eyes on that person ahead, and was always quite confident of my ability in the rain. The first race in this day didn't go well. I was knocked off and on the grass at the start, but then I did climb back quite a few places, so I knew had some pace, and it was just kind of being able to unlock it. But you know, here it was last race of the day. I feel like I'd learned from the track. The first time I'd been to the track in the wet, so I feel like I was learning through all the races in the day sort of what to do better. So here I was like, you know, it's game on, it's all or nothing. So here, really bringing it back over left as much as I can, much more than those in front. Maximise the exit onto here again. See, I'm already practically past him, pointing to him saying, you know, don't start squabbling, let's just go up ahead. So again, braking offline there, picking up the power nice and early as we can, perfect. Get it turned in left nice and early, and I think this slide down the inside, I'll always remember in my head actually doing that move, because it was such a nice feeling move. So now clamping that curve on the right hand side, maybe not the best line through there, but I think I probably still gained on him in front. So a lot of this race I found was pretty much, a lot of this track, was learning when to use a traditional wet line. This guy trying to sneak back up the inside, but I think he sneaks again here, but clearly on the outside, you know, we've got more grip, always going to get a better exit, and we were gone and we never saw that guy again. I think it was very close to this guy up here as well. Love that. Again, really being patient mid-corner and maximising that entrance onto the straight. So here, I think he got a decent exit, to be fair. You can see he's got good pace on the straight, but managed to brake a little bit later than him. We have the inside line. I don't think he made an attempt to come back past. So yeah, as I was saying, a lot of this track I found was pretty much finding out where to use the traditional wet racing line, which is, you know, in brief, when you stay off the dry line, and then when you would kind of more try and converge the two, combine the two. So in the past, I think probably with a lack of experience, I always thought it's wet line, or it's dry line, but it's never normally the case. There's often a lot of other factors that go into that, you know, track layout, track characteristics, track surface, all sorts of stuff. So it was figuring out when to use what part of the line. So you can see into turn 1, it's not a massive braking zone. I'm kind of using the dry racing line on entrance, but then I'm off the racing line there, and then I'm bringing it back across off the racing line, so a traditional wet line there, and I'm getting a good exit onto this straight. Again, down here I was braking. I was one of the only people to be braking more on the traditional wet line, see, on the middle of the track. This was about what timing to say that? That was as late as you wanted to brake it, but I was always gaining on people there. Whereas here, see, I was braking more kind of traditional dry racing line. I'm bringing it back to the middle. Again here through the dry, sort of a dry racing line, sort of a dry racing line through there. So it's balancing that. You naturally in the wet have a bit less grip on a dry line, but obviously you're going to travel less distance on that dry line. So it's balancing and learning what is quicker for what track. So through the final corner here, pretty much always stuck to the wet line. Run it out wide, power as early as you can onto this sort of rumble strip. They never liked it, the marshals, but it was the quickest way. So again there, perfect. So at this point, I think I was so close to the grass on the left there. At this point, obviously we've got a good gap, and in a second we get through this next corner. So he heads down. I'm fully in this race. Literally, this is all I'm thinking about, and this is why I love it so much, and this is why I miss it, because it was just such a good feeling. But on the right there, you can just see somebody went past. So I think he was either first or second place. I think he was first. I think we come across somebody else shortly, but I think possibly he was a back marker. I can't decide, but basically that's the person who the gap I'm going to keep looking at. So I can see him up ahead at this point. At this point I'm thinking, he's the win. I've started 19th. This is my race. Excuse me, croaky voice, getting too into it. Through that final section there, you see always sliding, and you had to do that because you're on slicks in the wet. As soon as the front end begun to push then, and you lost that sort of rotation in the car, you would just understeer. So you had to kind of use the rear end to rotate, keep the front end sort of pointing where you want it to go. That was the quickest way through. So see, we're past this guy here. I'm not sure if he was a back marker or not. I think he might have been a back marker, so we'll ignore him again. Braking nice and late, back on the power, and waiting to see, have we gained any time on first place? Looking left. I think we may have gained a tiny bit. So at this point, like I said, it's all on. We're not going to watch this video for the whole race, because a lot of it is some. I think we've just got a couple minutes left, but really trying to use as much of the curb I could get away with on the right hand side just there. Again here I was always scared because I saw so many people braking, locking up and running wide, but obviously yeah, just half risking it, half trying to be safe, as you do in the wet. It's sort of a balancing act between risk and reward. In the dry you can be a little bit more sort of kamikaze as such, but in the wet you got to balance a bit more, obviously, because the risk of going off is much higher. So again, down to here, I'm looking, you can see there, yeah, I'm looking across thinking, where is first place? I think at some point I even thought, am I already in first, and forgot about this chap. But then I think I saw him here, and I pointed to him there because he actually spun there. And that, for me, I knew it was on. I knew he was first place. He was clearly pushing because he had spun, and I felt like I was quicker than him. But as is often the case, we ran out of time. But second to last to second is not bad at all. I really enjoyed it, which is the main thing. I think if you enjoy something and you're happy doing something, then you are always better at it than if you weren't happy. So yeah, it was really good. I've really enjoyed watching this back. I hope you've enjoyed listening and watching. If you want to see some more, give us a like, subscribe, comment in the comment section below, and hopefully we will see you soon. Thank you, goodbye.